Shalom, everyone. This is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda ben Shomer, and welcome to the Daily Drosh. Today's Daily Drosh is taken from Numbers chapter 14, and I'm going to be reading from the Living Bible Paraphrase. And it says, "Then all the people began weeping aloud, and they carried on all night. Their voices rose in a great chorus of complaint against Moses and Aaron. 'We wish we had died in Egypt,' they wailed, 'or even in the wilderness, rather than to be taken into this country ahead of us. God will kill us there, and our wives and our little ones will become slaves. Let's get out of here and return to Egypt.' The idea swept the camp. 'Let's elect a leader to take us back to Egypt,' they shouted. I was driving with my wife the other day, and the car in front of us had on its bumper, on either side of the bumper, two pentagrams, and in the middle it was written, 'God does not love us.'" And I'm thinking, and I chuckled, I laughed. I'm like, really? And they're thinking Satan does, looking at the pentagrams. It just blew me away. It just made me think that this upcoming generation and this society that we live in is entrenched in a spiritual version of Stockholm syndrome. Somehow, the enemy has been able to twist the hearts and minds of the people to actually make them believe that everything that they see and everything that is negative and evil in this world is somehow God's fault and not Satan's. Stockholm Syndrome is defined as feelings of trust or affection felt in certain cases of kidnapping or hostage-taking by a victim towards a captor. Everybody is taken captive and hostage by sin and by Satan until they are freed and released by Messiah Yeshua, by surrendering their hearts and their lives to Messiah Yeshua. But yet this world has got it all twisted. They think Satan is actually the good guy. And Stockholm Syndrome is even being, a spiritual Stockholm Syndrome is even being perpetuated in media through television shows such as Lucifer, which is trying to shed a sympathetic light on the character of Satan. And so these people in Numbers, the children of Israel, after they refused to obey God and to strap on their armor and take the promised land, and all of a sudden God said, "Fine, you don't want to take the promised land like I commanded you to? You don't trust me enough to give you a victory? If I've taken you out of Egypt and taken you to this point, to the borders of the promised land, don't you think I have the strength and the power to actually bring you into the promised land?" But no, they were afraid of the giants. They were afraid of the descendants of the Nephilim, of these fallen angels and hybrid humans. And they were afraid that God could not deliver them from that. And then they come to the conclusion, the ridiculous, ludicrous conclusion, God brought us out here to kill us. God doesn't really love us. Just like that decal on the bumper of that car. Two pentagrams on either side, and right in the middle in bold Gothic letters, "God does not love us." Oh, really? And Satan does? Satan's going to protect you? He's going to bring you in the promised land? He's going to do good to you? No, that's spiritual Stockholm Syndrome. I just thought it was just totally ironic and totally ludicrous. So today, let's show the people of this world that God loves them. How are we going to do that? We are his ambassadors. We are his children. We are his hands and feet extended. So let's show others God's love by loving them, even when they're in an unlovable state. Ask God to show you how to love them, how to bring them into the kingdom with love, to show them that God is love, that God is real. Hey, the scriptures say it. In 1 John, that's the definition of God. It says God is love. And just because there's crazy things going on in this world, evil things, doesn't mean it's God's fault. It's not necessarily Satan's fault. It's really our fault. Because from the beginning, through Adam and Eve, we disobeyed God and committed high treason against the king of this universe. So basically, all the evil we see in this world, we have brought it upon ourselves. Just like how some genetic diseases are passed down from generation, it's inherited, it's in the DNA. Sin is a disease that's in the DNA. It's nobody's fault but our own. And yet Satan is preying upon that and using that and compounding that. And God is wanting to deliver us from that. And Satan's twisting it around saying, see, it's all God's fault. It's not yours. Because after all, if you did what I say, you could have been as gods and competed with him. What a farce. What a lie. What a bunch of Stockholm Syndrome. So let's go out there today and show others that God is love by loving them. Hey, thanks for listening. Shalom and Shavua Tov.
Hey folks, let me give you something to think about. Go to my YouTube channel, Ray Bash Katan, and look for the playlist, The Monthly Musings. There, you'll find a thought-provoking message from the Word of God for each month of the year. AbrahamsDescendants.com, getting back to the first century in a 21st century way.